Welcome to the tutorial for the Lawren Teddy and Panty set. The Lawren came out 2 years ago in the height of the pandemic, and I was so excited when it came out because one, we had nothing to do, so it was a really fun sewing project, and two, you were just excited because there were so many people who within 24 hours made the full Lawren bodysuit and posted it to Instagram. Since coming out, we have made so many variations from it. We've eliminated the center front panel, so it's just like a deep V cutout, not cutout, but just a deep V, and it's bare skin right here. We've done a swimsuit with it. We've done different types of swimsuits using the Lawren pattern. This year, we have hacked it into a super cute teddy and panty set. There aren't any pattern alterations per se. You basically sew the top portion to a strip of fabric that is sheared or gathered. I will walk you through all of that. And then the panty is the 9478 panty, the Madalynne Simplicity 9478, sewn up with fold over elastic. I have the pattern out here. And I'm going to walk you through all of the steps. But first, I want to show you the finished piece because I think that'll give you a better understanding of how it all comes together. All right, so here is the teddy, the top portion. And as you can see, it is the Lawren top. Oh, I got a little thread tail there. Somebody didn't clip their thread tails. Just don't mind that. So it is the top portion exactly. We didn't put the center front panel on. I'll show you that when we get to the pattern alterations. Not the pattern alterations, but when I bring out the pattern. What we did here is I sewed picot elastic along the center front edge. I just laid it flat, did a wide zigzag over it. Then I sewed the center front panel to the side panel with a straight stitch. I actually didn't use a serger because the girls, they had it on like a white serger and I needed a black, so I actually just pushed it to the side and did a nice zigzag over it. So yes, you do not, or no, you do not need a serger to sew this. Then I finished the center back edge with the picot. Then I sewed the front to the back at the shoulder seam and the side seam. Again, I pushed the seam allowances, top stitch it with a zigzag stitch. And then I attached the lace openings at the armhole. And then I attached the bottom panel. What are we gonna call this? Like the little skirt portion? Sheared it and then attached it. So really, really, really easy. Let me switch views and bring out the pattern pieces so you know what to cut. Okay, so let's go over the pattern pieces and what you should have cut out. So the side panel, it cut out exactly the same way. I put the stretch lace with the lining fabric. The lace sleeve panels cut out the same way, no adjustment there. The only adjustment I made to the center front piece is basically I angled the lace from the neckline to the center front so I don't have this portion of it. If you want to use the pattern piece that is the lace panel and use that to cut out the fabric, you can do that. I personally just like using the center front panel as my pattern piece when cutting this out. The center front panel, the side panel are both lined with stretch mesh, and that is the front. And then for the back piece, there are no alterations, cut it out exactly as is. I just did one layer of the blue flock dot mesh. For the sheared skirt panel, I just cut out a strip of the blue mesh. I did this 6 inches wide by 50 inches long. How wide you're gonna make it is gonna depend on how wide you want it to be. If you want it to be hit above the panty line, below the panty line, below your butt. So you will have to determine that. And then the panty is the 9478 panty. I didn't make any alterations to it. So you cut it out exactly as is. I lined both of the layers with stretch mesh. The only thing I didn't cut was the cotton gusset. Okay, so the first step is that you are going to sew the picot elastic along the center front edge. So you're just gonna lay it on top so that the flat edge is against the low point of the scallop. Low point of the scallop means there's a high point and then the low point. You're gonna use a wide zigzag so that it crosses or that it covers the width of the elastic. Okay, so I finished the neckline edge with the picot elastic, and now I'm going to sew the side front to the center front with a straight stitch. You can serge it, or you can press it to one side and zigzag stitch it like I did. So that to that. And you will also sew the V on the back neckline exactly as the instructions state. Where is my back? So you sew the picot elastic along this edge, just as the instructions. Okay, so I sewed the V at the center back. I attached the center front panel to the side panel. The next step is I'm going to sew the front to the back at the shoulder seam and the side seam. I'm going to use a straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then either serge or press it to one side and zigzag stitch. Same as the Lawren instructions. And then after that, I'm going to follow the Lawren instructions to attach the lace panels at the shoulder. And then we'll move on to attaching the sheared skirt. Okay, so I have assembled the Lawren bodysuit. The top portion, I added the lace panels at the armhole, sewed the picot elastic as well, and then I sewed the short ends of the strip of fabric. I made mine 6 inches by 50 inches, and then I put a gathering stitch or a basting stitch at the top end. And now I'm going to pull the threads in order to shear it so that it matches the length of the waistline. And then I'm going to sew it onto the bodysuit or the teddy with a zigzag stitch. And then if you have a serger, you can serge those seam allowances. Okay, so here is the finished teddy as well as the panty. There aren't instructions for the panty since it doesn't deviate from any of the patterns or the instructions, so it's super easy. Basically, you just sew the side seams, the crotch seam, and you sew the fold over elastic on the waist and the legs. That's it. And then here is the teddy. So super cute together. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you are inspired to make your own Lawren teddy and panty set.